Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa rabbil alameen. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Halan wa salam bikum. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. To my full-bed community, Anjarama Jambek. Mido Wadi Ma Jarama. Let me give you my greetings in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Lil ikhwani fwati fi din. Salamu ala mani tabahuda. Lil ikhwani fwati fi Africa, Europa, America, Caribbean, wa kulli makan. I'm hoping that you're doing well, my dear brothers and sisters. This is kind of like of the spur of the moment. And I haven't been on for a while, and I wanted to cover a very important topic about the call of prayer. We know in English, and the word in Quranic Arabic is Adhan, which all Muslims either recite it or they listen to it 5 times per day. And we've forgotten basically some of the hidden gems behind it. And we have also forgotten about the benefits that come from reciting the caller Muezzin, is what we call this in Arabic language, who recites, who calls the Muslims to prayer, and those who listen. And we know that there's great benefits behind that. And we have a lot of information from our Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam about this issue, and it's very, very, very deep. In the Futafula community, we have since 711 AD, we've had a jihad that is equal to none. And that jihad has covered many aspects. Of course, when Islam came, we know that Nabi and alayhi salatu wasalam and companions, they had to endure a lot of hardships that we had not had to endure. But in this modern era, we, of course, we have another type of jihad that's far more greater. And in our history, we have taken the banner of Islam, we've taken it hard, and we've taken it very well. And so let's look at this, brothers and sisters. When we think about some of the beauty of things in this earth, we think about the how somebody is born, how we think about other issues, and we take things for granted that these sacred sounds, or appear to be sacred sounds according to the worldly advice, the worldly ways and means. An example of that is we talk about the, excuse me, no, that's the wrong one, brothers and sisters, excuse me. What is the most beloved sound? And here I have drafted up these notes after I thought about this issue deeply. And I asked the question about the most beloved sound that we as human beings can hear. And it's not the newborn baby's first cry. Our child, I've had 6 children. And I know how that sound when you know that your child is born and that child is healthy. It is a great joy. And it's not the child's first words that I remember my oldest daughter when she was first born and she started to talk. It was a big issue. Everybody came over to the house. So it was a big issue, in those days. And, and it was a big thing. Not the joy of proposal of a marriage proposal. A brother goes to a sister and he proposes before the family, and the family agrees and the daughter agrees and so forth. That acceptance also has a reverence. These are all worldly beauties and precious, but bound to the earth. That's the key, brothers and sisters, right there. They're beautiful to hear the cry of your child, the first as he enters the world, the dunya, and he's crying. That's a beautiful sound. It's not an irritating sound. It's a beautiful sound, but it's regulated to the dunya. The sound that rises above them all is the sound that pleases Allah the most. What is that? The Adhan. This is important, brothers and sisters, the Adhan. Because it's the Adhan that reaches to the heavens, I will talk about this in my notes. And we love our children. We love, we still remember, and that's something we never forget about. The children are born and they're healthy, and then the proposal that you make to your wife and she accepts. We remember that time vividly. We hear her voice. We hear the acceptance of her family and so forth and so on. We hear all of that. But the Adhan, brothers and sisters, a call that travels through the heavens, reuniting hearts to return to their Lord, to Subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the Adhan is played, and for non-Muslims, they don't quite understand this because they don't have a call to prayer. The Muslims, the only one has a call to prayer. The Jews used to have a similar, a call, but they used the ram, horn to call the people. But we have something much better than that. And everybody knows the hadith and the tale about what happened to companions too, especially Omar radiallahu anhu. He had the same a deep vision, during the time of sleep, and he woke to this with the words of the Adhan, because the Adhan had not came about yet, and so this situation gave approval to Subhanahu wa ta'ala gave approval to the Nabi, and then the Nabi turned around and said, I want the voice to be good and a good moral person. The companions were now Muslims. They were the best of the best. So he told Bilal to now be the first muezzin who gives the call to prayer. And so that it's a big thing, and it's blessings. It's blessings, a mercy to the Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Brothers and sisters, you think about this. Before there's AI, because you can attribute things to AI. Everything now you see, it could be AI. But if you look at some of the things that AI, there's something not, if you really look good, it's manufactured. About 15, 20 years ago, there was a study that was done in the Netherlands, if I'm not believing, also in the UAE. They took children who were latchkey, who had a hard time. They were always irritable, crying a lot, especially when they go out, they see strange people, or they just irritable. And they took children they saw in the mall, especially in UAE, and who were crying. And these children were just unruly, but they're babies. You know how babies can be. They're irritated, their diaper or whatever situation, they have indigestion, or they're just being babies. You know what I mean? They hear weird sounds, and the mother can't calm the baby down. But they did this study, and they had these children come in, and had everything was normal through the mall. And they decided at prayer time to call, and in UAE, in a lot of Muslim countries, even in the malls, not all Muslim countries, even in the malls, when it's time for prayer, you can hear there's the Adhan is announced even inside the mall to tell the Muslims, even though they're shopping, to leave their shopping now. Come, they have prayer messages inside the all the malls now, and many stores, they have a small message there. So anyway, these children. And I still remember this little girl. She was from America, and the parents came to UAE for vacation, and they were not Muslims. And the child was crying a lot. She was irritable, and so forth and so on. When the Adhan was played, brothers and sisters, it calmed her down to where she started to go look for it. She tried to find who was saying it, and she was so mesmerized by it. Then the other case was a child who was continuously crying and crying and crying in her, in the crib. And when the Adhan sounded, the baby stopped immediately and listened. Oh, you know how babies make that sound, and then fell asleep. So we start seeing this. Scientists now have attributed this to the tranquility. See that when the Adhan is sounded off and the words are sounded off, it has some tranquility, and it gives it to the soul. And then it releases from you the birth, like you hear the Adhan, you've been worried about bills here, you worry about, and suddenly you hear the Adhan, you hear the beautiful words. It's time now to get up, make your wudu, and whatnot, get prepared for your prayer, and so forth and so on. And so it releases you for that moment from the worldly trappings and so forth and so on. And the joy that purifies it and uplifts, because it does uplift you and gives you this feel. And you know it. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the call that awakens the purpose. This is a true statement, brothers and sisters. Very, very true statement, and so forth and so on. So I wanted to talk about that because for all Muslims, I don't care if you Fulani or you Hausa, this make no difference in this regard here, in that we don't care, a Muslim is a Muslim, Muslim, aku Muslim. We all are brothers in the faith, and so forth and so on. So this covers everybody and so forth. I wanted the brothers and sisters just to remember that Adhan that you hear every day. Now, those in the West, you don't have this opportunity because of you're not in a non-Muslim country, and especially in America, you don't hear this Adhan and so forth and so on. So you don't have the luxury of hearing the Adhan 5 times per day. But us in the Muslim world here, Muslim countries, we hear the Adhan 5 times per day, and it has a calming effect to it. Excuse me, no, I don't. That's been fulfilled. And so now you see this, brothers and sisters, and when we talk about this issue, and also what happens at the time when the Muezzin gives the call to prayer. It's not the cry of that baby. It's not the words of your child's, the first words of your child. It's not your wife proposal. It's not when you heard that you have won a lot of money, or you heard your son in a speech, and so forth and so on, or you heard your parents say certain things that was pleasing to you. The opening of the gates of Jannah is when the call to prayer is announced. This is why it is so important, brothers and sisters, that you come back to it, remember it, and understand it. And don't take it for granted. We're all human beings. I don't care who you are. All of us have troubles of some sort. Money, family, friends, a variety of different things. No job, or hate your job, or you confused, you need a loan, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, your children need certain items. All these things is the dunya. When the call to prayer is announced, the gates of heaven are opened and the supplication is answered. You are now supplicating to Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And this Adhan opens up everything. So the heavens opens, brothers and sisters. And you are now, you are now part of something. And the brother is announcing, everyone is coming. Here in the Sahara, there in North Africa, the brother is given the Adhan. And this is a Fulani brother giving the Adhan and talking to the brothers, the Tuareg brothers and the Fulani brothers who dwell in the desert to come to prayer. And so this situation also gives other things. The person, I have to go into this too. Why, if you have a beautiful voice and you and you are a student, you're a Muslim, but you become a student of knowledge, and you're starting to understand and speak the Arabic language very well. You're starting to hit the great 10 books that will lift you up to in the realm of scholar. But even if you master the 10 books, it's not easy to be a scholar. Most of us are students of knowledge, and there we do have the scholars. But those 10 books will lift you. But the person who is giving the Adhan in this situation, he has a lot of benefits. This is why I'm talking to the young brothers and sisters in this regard. The brothers, excuse me, because it's them who announce the Adhan at all the masajid Allah Ta'ala. You see these things when you announce. Now, brothers and sisters, let me preface this. Now, in a lot of countries today, we have the enemy have taken over these masjids. They have commandeered the masjids, and they have made weak governments basically destroy the continuity of the masjids. So the person who's given the call to prayer is not one of us. He's a member of a exab, which is a federal confederation in the Arabic language of a bunch of people, disbelievers, criminals of some sort. Now they're starting to run the masjids. They give the Adhan. We're not talking about him. He's not getting any benefits because he's there on the. That's another issue in the fiqh. I don't want to get deeper into that. But we're not talking about that individual. We're talking about the rightful individuals who are nominated and they're good Muslims, not those that belong to some criminal organization belonging to the Crusaders in their war against the Muslims, all this type of thing, and he gets announced. We're not talking about him. His call to prayer is invalid. It's nothing. We're talking about the rightful ones. Forgiveness, and you see what happens here. He's forgiven. The angelic testimony, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the messenger, subhanahu wa ta'ala, has got a lot of love for the Nabi alayhi salam. He gave him a lot of knowledge. He cleared up many mysteries that the world did not understand at the time. He cleared it up. And this is added because no one has the call to prayer in the history. There's been little things here and there, even in ancient Tamari, ancient Egypt. We didn't have that. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has authorized something that's great. So you see all this thing that happens when the person who is announcing, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, is amazed, okay, by the shepherd who is given the call. The person who's on top of a mountain and he's given the call. The person who is calling the prayer, he's in the lush tropical highlands of the Cameroon. And he calls the prayer. We have brothers who sitting in the Sahel. He's calling the brothers to prayer. We have brothers in the coastal West Africa who call the Muslims to prayer. And so the reward, say as they have said, we repeat that and we get a big reward for this. So when you hear the call, you essentially now, there's other issues of fiqh and I don't want to get deeper into that's not the class for that today. But, if you're doing something, you hear the call to prayer, out of respect, you should stop and to honor the call to prayer. It's not easy all the time. We understand that, especially in the West. If you do have a chance to hear the call, you're in traffic or, whatever situation, it's very difficult. But you try to do your best to answer the call, repeating the words, listen to the words, and make your supplications. See? And one of the great benefits is that Satan flees. He goes away because he does not want to hear this call. And he gets away from that. Let's see here. We got a person, our brother here. How you doing, my dear brother? My cousin, how you doing? Anjurama, how you doing? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for showing up today, my dear brother. Thank you very much, cousin. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now we have this backdrop, brothers and sisters, and I'm hoping that this will get you back into the swing of things with the Adhan and the importance of the Adhan and whatnot, and all of this, the intricate things about it. When you have the combination of the three, you have the wudu. When you make your wudu inside the house, or you're inside the masjid, you make your wudu, and you get ready to make your prayer. The Adhan, Islam called prayer, a deeply connected to heavenly events. No other religion can claim this except the Muslims. The Adhan, Islam's call to prayer, is deeply connected to the heavens, to the samawat in the Arabic language, with the hadith stating angels record its words. Every hearing, it testifies for the caller, and the sins are forgiven. And so we see these great benefits, brothers and sisters. And here's some of the other. When that call to prayer is now upon us, there are a lot of benefits. We don't even think about that because we have the dunya. We know what's going on in the dunya today. It is so bad. We know there's so much trouble. There's so much evil. We understand that. And you preoccupy, every human being is dealing with many things. But I covering these issues to help you, so that way you'll have something to go by and to remember. The physical and mental health benefits. See, when you walk to the masjid, you hear the call to prayer. Now it's time to walk to the masjid. You may think it's a burden. Maybe you have to cross a stream, or maybe you have to cross muddy areas to get to the masjid. Maybe you live a distance away from the masjid and it takes you time to get there. But here is scientific evidence about what happens when that call of prayer hits you and you go into the masjid to answer that call of prayer. It gives you the exercise, and it gives you the disease prevention, because you're moving, and your blood levels, everything is being purified. You're going to answer the call to prayer and come to worship Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in his house. Mental well-being. It can help remedy mental exhaustion. We all have this going on today. You're sitting here trying to figure, you and your wife have been discussing all day, a couple of days now, how you can buy this house that you saw. You're trying to pour over your finances. Your children have problems at school. Maybe moms and pops need money. You know, the dunya has really got you going. You and your wife are trying to figure things out. But that when you hear that call to prayer and it's time to go to the masjid, she's not required to go to the masjid. Everybody, the Muslims, we all know this. If you don't know, non-Muslims who perhaps don't understand that, but the sister is not required to go to the masjid except during Eid, which is our celebration. But she can go to the masjid if she wants, if her husband gives permission for that, and so forth and so on. But it's not up to her. It's snowing outside, it's cold, it's very, very chilly, or it's raining, and so forth and so on. She's not required to have to go out there, and she's not required for her to go out in the street where you live in an area where it's dangerous, because she can't fend off the criminal element. So this is not her responsibility to have to go to the masjid. She's best inside her house, and the best place inside of her room, and so forth. But the mental well-being helps in this regard, that this adhan in walking and so forth and so on. The mindfulness, the act of walking to the masjid in this regard to answer the prayer helps you, as you can see here. This is a beautiful thing that Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gave us. It's a beautiful thing that our Nabi, alayhi salatu wasalam, he gave this to us, and told us how we should pray. He said, pray as I pray. And that is a big issue. Okay. Boy, we got, okay. Now, this is something that is very interesting. As you can see here, glad tidings given to those who walk to the mosque, because it's tied to the call of prayer. The call of prayer is not designed in the city just to announce it. It's an instruction, an amr. Okay, amr meaning in the Arabic language is a command that you stop what you're doing. You're in your car, you walk inside the house. It's time now, and you hear the Adhan, you got to go. Now, there's other issues too when there's meals, but even with that, you're supposed to come to the masjid. But we understand some of the things that's going on today. We understand why a lot of us can't go to the masjid because of what's going on inside the masjids, and the masajid Allah Ta'ala are not being protected. They've been taken over by criminal elements. But in the perfect world, this is the way it is. They place in paradise. Subhanahu wa ta'ala prepares a hospitable abode in paradise for every person who goes to the mosque in the morning or evening. Now we go into another issue of fiqh, where, if you look at the hadiths of the Nabi alayhi salam, two of the hardest prayers is one is early in the morning. Why? Because you just first wake up in the morning. It's cold outside, okay? Or it's rainy, or it's snowing, and so forth and so on. Or you have obstacles you have to get by and so forth in order to get to the masjid. And so there's rewards for this, as you see here. And the reward for Friday prayer. This is an issue today in Muslim countries, brothers and sisters, as the criminal element, the apparatuses of the West, as they are starting to really cause havoc in Muslim countries. There are people who are working under them, who have tried to put forth different things by changing even the call to prayer, and even changing the requirements about Friday's prayer. And you have to be very mindful of that. You as a Muslim have to understand, if you miss 3 consecutive, this is consensus by the scholars, 3 consecutive without a valid reason, Salat al-Jumu'ah, you're regarded as a disbeliever. And in the times when there was a Sharia Allah Ta'ala, the Hezbollah will find these men, maybe a wife. This is her right. I've talked about this before, but I'll mention this again. You have your wife at home. She's taking care of the children. She see her husband is starting to get lazy. Her husband doesn't want to give her Fajr prayer. He waits till 15, 20, 30 minutes. He doesn't even make good wudu. Then he lazily does a prayer, and the masjid is very close to the house. He doesn't want to do it. When Salat, the first afternoon prayer, he don't want to pray that. Sometimes he prays, sometimes he don't. Then when Salat, the Jumu'ah on Friday prayer come, sometimes he goes, sometimes he doesn't. But he doesn't want to go, and he puts on any clothes he wants, and he doesn't care. She has the right to go to the Hezbollah. But again, if she does that, it could ruin her marriage. But she has the right to expect her husband to follow the commands. He's the man of the house. It's required of the man, the Muslim, to get up off his rear end and make prayer and establish prayer inside the house. On the other side of this, we have now modern Muslim women who put on a pretty face. They get inside the house. This brother goes to the masjid. He come back and find his wife. She's not on her monthly cycle either. And he finds that she's not even praying. It's him. He's supposed to establish the prayer inside the house. On the other hand, the sister has the right to demand that her husband follows the command of Allah follows the command of Nabi and go to make his prayer. So all these things are benefits, brothers and sisters, and I just covered some of that and so forth. The spiritual rewards, the every step you take, going. I mean, we have all of these rewards from Subhanahu wa Taala. It's not hard, brothers and sisters. You see this. You're walking. You heard the Adhan, the call to prayer. Now you're coming to the masjid. Subhanahu wa Taala rewards you. He rewards you for this. Look at this at the bottom, the greatest reward for the distance. Some of us, like where I was living before here, the masjid was actually a kilometer or more away from the house. And I would, and you heard the story when I was living in this place here, I had protection. I had a great majority of the dogs in the region, in the area where I was at, they would follow me to the masjid. You heard me talk about this. I have one video, and it's kind of funny but sad too, because I missed them. But they would wait outside front of where I lived, and when the Adhan, would go off, they would start howling. It was something. They would howl, and sometimes it's 10, sometimes there's 15 of these dogs out there waiting for me to come out. And then when I would come, they would all kind of greet me, and then they'll start to go. And we had one. It was she was a German wolf dog. I don't know what happened to her, why who had her before, but they threw her out in the street. But she would lead. She was the matrix. She would lead all the dogs, and they knew their master because they've been going to the master with me, which is a kilometer. Any punk or criminal or a stray dog to start to bark, they'll go after them. This is a crazy situation. My wife would laugh many times. She'd sit out there and look at the windows, or she'll see the dogs. Because sometimes I'll say, well, you know what? Are they out there? She said, yes. There's maybe 8 of them out there waiting on you. I mean, it was very comical, but that's in those days and so forth and so on. But, I miss those dogs a lot because they gave me a lot of protection when I went to the masjid. And I told the stories about sometimes that happened, and I'll tell you this one because I still remember this and made me laugh. The disbelievers, from the embassy, they used to hire, and they still hire today, thugs. Well, there was one thug who was waiting for me because I had to go to the bank. My wife told me, hey, look, we need some money in the house. We don't have enough money. I said, okay, yeah, right. So I left the masjid to go, and dogs followed. There was one man who was standing over in the dark. I didn't see him, but they saw him, and they stopped, like they kind of stopped in front of me. So I said, okay, stop. Why'd he stop? I looked around. I saw him finally over the corner. So they start walking. Now, it was about 10 of them start to walk towards him. As he started to walk towards me, I know he was a criminal. They start to growl. They made him run. So these are some of the issues that happened in the past. So let me look at. We got a couple of guests here. Let me see who we have here. It said that it was 2 people. What happened here? I don't know what happened, but that's okay. That's all right. Now let's get back to this. One of the beautiful things, brothers and sisters, is our young boys. Here, they're in the Sahel. These are Fulani young boys here reciting. There's a lot of things that go on before the Adhan and so forth and so on. The first call to prayer is we call Fajr prayer. Salat al-Fajr is inside the masjid, Fajr prayer and so forth. But I always get up much earlier than that and make what we call tahajjud. This is a special prayer that you can commence in the third part of the night and so forth. Now I'm older; it's very difficult for me to do that. So usually about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, according to the time of year. I get up to make the tahajjud prayer, and you can read here. You read the Quran and you make your salat and so forth and so on. Here we got young boys, Fulani young boys here in the Sahel, who are reading the Quran and so forth and so on. There's all these benefits, brothers and sisters, that transpires, and these are remnants of the call to prayer. And this is what it makes it so beautiful, that it has the effect, and it makes the person go deeper into more things. It has you to pick up the Quran to read it. It has you to make dhikr Allah, remembrance of Allah. there's many aspects what it does. Our dear sisters who live in the Sahel, they have a special life that's quite different than in the Sahel region and in the coastal West Africa region. In the desert region, it's a different way of life, as you heard me talk about. But our sisters have understood what has happened in and they go, and sometimes they have their own little rabat. They'll have somebody there to protect them because, it's responsibility of the Muslim men to protect our sisters. Okay, I don't care if the girl's a Hausa girl and you are a Muslim man, you saw something in your power to stop, you go to stop that, protect her. Because in Islam, the Muslim man is required to protect our sisters. So here we have sisters here who are enjoying their company, and they're in the Rabat. These are Fulani sisters in the Sahara Desert in Mauritania, and they go out and they have a fellowship, sisterhood, where they make their dhikr Allah, they make their prayer, they're making dua, and so forth and so on. There's the remnants again that they hear. But when they hear this call to prayer here, they come to answer that call to prayer in the Sahara Desert. You see our Fulani brother here, he's calling, and brothers coming, and sisters too. I have another one here too, where the sisters and brothers coming out who are living out in the desert, or they're out in the desert making rabat, or whatever the situation be, or they traveling from another place coming through. They know the areas where prayer is being conducted. So the Fulani brother here is giving the Adhan, calling, and the brothers now are coming, and there's also sisters coming, wives, probably daughters and so forth, coming to answer the call to prayer. And then here again in the Sahara Desert, we have people waiting for the time, and you have another caravan in the back of Muslims who will answer this call to prayer. And why the Islamic prayer is so valuable and so interesting. When people hear it, they come to it. Yes, you're required, but you don't feel like you have. It's like a requirement. Something draws you. It's like a magnet. You hear the call to prayer. It's like a magnet. You want to go to answer that call, especially when you understand the words in Arabic, because it's telling you to come. It's telling you to enjoy the success, and so forth and so on. And you see this. And so the brother gives the call to prayer, and it has a profound effect upon the Muslims and even non-Muslims. How many now you see in YouTube where somebody's giving the call to prayer and you see non-Muslims actually cry? I remember here about a week ago, I think it was, I looked at YouTube, the Fulani brother sent me something. There was a place inside the United States there. They were very racist. They were church, they was in the Christian church. And one brother was at the university. He started to lean towards Islam. He wanted to get the congregation to start to understand what about Islam, and not get it from CNN or some of the other pundits who destroy Islam. They wanted to, he wanted to bring it to the church. So he did. He had his friend who he had met at the university to come to the church. And so he gave he did the Adhan inside the church, and it mesmerized the congregation because they never heard something so beautiful. Yes, they did not understand the words. True, they did not understand the words, but they were mesmerized by the sound of the Adhan. See, and we got somebody here. We got the brother here. Wa alaikum salam, my dear brother. Thank you very much for showing up today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for showing up. And I saw it and I was mesmerized. And this brother had a beautiful voice, and he gave the Adhan, and the whole congregation, some of the snickering that was going on, some of the snide remarks was going on, stopped because they wanted to listen, even though they did not hear the word, they didn't understand the Arabic, but it was so profound to them, brothers and sisters. This is what the effect that the Adhan have, because you listen. Because why? There's something that happens when you listen to the Adhan. Even the non-Muslims, they don't know how to attest to what has happened to them when they heard this. See, and then after they called the Adhan, they kind of like they were in a couple of minute trance. They didn't understand what happened, and then they come out of it. It's like they went into another chamber, another dimension of life when they heard this Adhan. Then after they concluded to leave that dimension because they don't belong in that dimension because they're not Muslims. But nevertheless, they had an effect upon them. And so this is why it's very important, brothers and sisters, about this. Excuse me. And again, closing on here, the most beloved sound, brothers and sisters, again, it's not the baby. It's not the baby's call. It's not the baby when it first come out, or the baby's first words, or our wife, who's going to be our wife, and she gives you the approval. It's not the Fatiha that's being announced during the time to solidify the marriage in a Muslim marriage. It's not that. It's not that. It's not a beautiful nasheed that is being played, even though it's beautiful and it's very warming to the heart. It's still not the same because it does not open up the heavens. See, it does not open up the heavens, and this is an important issue. It doesn't open up the heavens. See, this is a blessing and so forth. It's a mercy to the Muslims and non-Muslims alike. It's a river of tranquility. And this is what the Adhan, this is why I wanted to cover this today, because a lot of us forgotten about the Adhan. We hear it and we answer it, but we don't, it's like, okay, I'm going to answer it. Let me make my wudu and let me make my prayer. But we take it for granted. So now I'm bringing that issue back to you so that way you'll have this issue and you'll have this background to start to really think about what happens when that Adhan calls, all of the benefits that you get from it, all of the benefits that transforms for you who called the Muezzin, who is calling and those who is listening to that call, and so forth and so on. So all of these things, brothers and sisters, we have, we get the great benefit for this, the physical and mental health benefits going to the masjid because of the call of prayer and all the benefits that happen. What happens when scientists did studies on Muslims when they make sujood in Arabic, meaning prostration in English, and they start to examine the human body when they make this. We found that when you had head colds and so forth and so on, that when you make the Islamic prayer, it has a tendency to relieve these symptoms. Very interesting, isn't it? This is what scientists have uncovered. And most of the scientists who did this, because they heard from Muslim scientists, but they didn't believe it until they began to examine Muslims and who had ailments and so forth and so on. Now, I'm not trying to say to you that it cures your cancer. That's not what I meant to say. I'm not saying that. But they give you certain benefits of what happens when you do and make your prayer and so forth and so on. Also, they did studies on the Adhan and also the reading of the Quran, what happens to the brain when Muslims and non-Muslims alike, when they hear the recitation of the Quran, it found there are things that happen to the brain that's a good thing. So there's so many benefits from the Adhan and all the other attributes around it. See, and so just remember that, brothers and sisters, that this Adhan is ours and it's very important for us. And you remember all of the benefits because of it. And don't be we know, all of us, the dunya, we understand this. Some of us are in a particular jihad where we are being hounded and persecuted and so forth and so on and whatnot. But that Adhan calls, and you're now ready for your prayer and to answer that. And don't take it for granted, because there are blessings to it, brothers and sisters. Just remember that all aspects of the creations are affected by the Adhan, as you see here. It's a very, very, very beautiful call. And no one else has this except the Muslims. And this is a blessing that Subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And so you remember that, brothers and sisters, because it's very important to that, to have that. And remember, one of the things that is very, 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 very telling is the gates of heaven, the gates of Jannah. This is a very important thing, brothers and sisters. As you see this hadith and what happens, it's a very, very, very profound thing, brothers and sisters. And we have this in Islam. The opening of the gates, and when the call to prayer is announced, the gates of Jannah are open and the supplication is answered. That is a mercy from Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't take that for granted. In between the time you hear the Adhan and before the Iqama is what now you're already ready inside the masjid, and now it's time for prayer. We have the Iqama, now it's making you come to the prayer lines. In between there is your supplication. And you see what it says here about the supplications, that it's answered. See, it's answered. And that's a mercy from Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't, again, remember, brothers and sisters, you hear the Adhan, okay? You hear the Adhan, you recite the words of the Quran, you get benefits for that. You get Ajr, we call this in Arabic language. And then in between that time, before you the prayer, okay, before you get ready to actually make your prayer, and the time of the Adhan, you make your supplication, and you see what it says here, and according to the hadith, it gives you a very, very a deep, profound reward for this. And the gates of heaven are open and the supplication is answered. And this is a beautiful, beautiful thing for us, brothers and sisters, that we have this and whatnot. And, just remember, brothers and sisters, we Muslims, we have to always remember that Subhanahu wa ta'ala and there's the angels are writing every day what we're doing, and so forth. You're going to the masjid and so forth and so on. What happens, the Malaika follow you, they're writing what is happening with you. So all of these benefits and so forth and so on, is very important that you have this this knowledge, and again, don't take it for granted. All of us need a refresher. I don't care. I heard something from one of my favorite scholars of Islam. He was talking, he reminded us about something I forgot about, because it's only normal. It's only normal. And I'm always grateful for that when I'm reminded of something that I forgot. It's not that I'm not doing it, but I've taken it for granted. And we have to remember that we have to be brought back to it, because our faith is ebb and flow. And the Nabi talked about this issue. You're not always way up here all the time. You cannot. You're a human being. You're going to sin. Things happen. Your child got hurt in the hospital. Your faith may come down. Not that you doubt the faith, but you may be negligent in certain things because because your child is hurt in the hospital. So those issues like this, are always evident, and we have to always think about that and remember that, and so forth and so on, brothers and sisters. So as I get ready to close here, I want to again reiterate about the importance of the Adhan and the greatness of it, and so forth and so on, and the mercy it is even to non-Muslims. You go into YouTube today, and the ones is AI generated, because a lot of times even now they start to identify that some of these videos are AI generated. You don't mind those, but you actually the ones who actually put these videos in showing people in malls what happened to babies. How about the cats, which I think is 20 years now before they had AI? They put this cat inside the house, or it was their cat, and the brother had the Quran there, and he put the food next to the Quran. The cat didn't step over the Quran. The cat went around the Quran. When they put the Bible there, the cat went over the Bible to get the food. But again, the same thing happened. He put it on the other side. The cat did not go across the Quran. He went around it out of respect. So there's a lot of things, brothers and sisters, that we that's in our religion, and how beautiful it is, and all the rewards that we get for this, and so forth. And as I'm closed here, brothers and sisters, I have not done this in a long time, and I'm hoping, brothers and sisters, that you guys, if you're not getting announcements, I know I've been fighting now for months, probably a year, trying to get YouTube to get to the bottom of what is going on with my videos. When I get when everybody gets a hold of the video, I get a lot of views and so forth and so on. I don't have no participation because most people are not getting notifications at all. And they have to physically come to my station, and they say, oh man, I missed 5 videos, or I missed these short videos. And speaking of short videos, I've been doing a lot of short videos, brothers and sisters. Please visit those short videos, sometimes about 2 per week. I give about the Fulani people and so forth and so on, and Islamic and whatnot. And please revisit those issues. And let me see here. We got okay. Our brother here says, "Wow, the cat walked around." Yeah, the animals. Yes, the animals know the creators. They know that, and as we had a prime example of that. I told you where I was living before, as I explained many times. I had stray dogs, but they start to come and I feed them, because I get Azure for this. And they would come, they hear the Adhan, because they know I go to the masjid, okay? Especially Fajr prayer in the morning. They know, because Fajr prayer in the morning is dark. There's a lot of stray dogs out there. There's people out there on the street. And they would, they would howl and so forth and so on. It's the funniest thing. I have videos. A lot of my enemy removed a lot of the videos. I still found some that I have. I recorded them as they make. Whoa, they making like wolf sound when the Adhan comes on. Very, very, very interesting. And so my videos, short videos, brothers and sisters, on the Fulani life, and I'm going to be doing a couple here, honoring our Fulani sisters. So please, wait for that. And if you don't get any notifications, check my channel and so forth and see, because I know I have a lot of people say, man, I didn't even know. I thought you were gone. I thought you quit. And then they go to my channel and they find all these videos that they're not getting notifications on. And I'll be doing something here again on our beautiful Fulani sisters, brothers and sisters. And I'll be talking about them because the Fulani woman, as any woman in any society, is a very important aspect to the Futafula community. And so I'll be giving a honor to them in my next short video, which is usually between 1 minute long. It's not 30, 40 minutes. It's very short, and with the Quran behind it, and so forth and so on. And I'll be honoring our sisters here in my next video, Bi'ithnillah, and so forth and so on. So please be looking out for that. Should happen here shortly, a day or so, and look for that as I honor our sisters around where our Fulani people are. They're everywhere. Okay, Mauritania, they're in Morocco, here where I'm living. They're everywhere in Senegal. All the way in Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia. They're everywhere. And so I'll be honoring our Fulani sisters here in my next short video. And we have, okay, our brother here says, I don't get your either. Yeah, even though my notification is on, I miss. Yes, brother, I complain vigorously, and I know our brothers are not receiving and sisters are not receiving these notifications at all. And I've heard many times Sheikh Yahya, I don't know what happened to you. I thought you were finished. I thought everything was you you quit and whatever. And then they pull up my channel and they pull up my shorts and they found and the short videos and they see all of these they missed. Some missed 5, 6 other live videos because they're not getting notification. And so only thing we can do is I keep on trying to go after them. And also you can put your input and feedback on your in your YouTube, put feedback, say, hey, look, this Shakia, I'm not getting the notification. I'm a subscriber. I don't know why. And complain, because they did ask me, they said, please have people complain to us that they're not getting it. They'll solve it for a while, then they'll stop. But you have to ask the question, if you got 1,400 subscribers, say for instance, how is it that when you look at analysis out of the notifications, it's less than 1%? Those it got noticed. It's something's wrong, that they're really hurting my channel and so forth. They're really hurting it. So, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna get ready to leave you here, and thank you for those who's showing up here. I got to get ready to go here and make prayer. I just wanted to cover this thing about the Adhan. Those who come late and those come in the future, please review this video and so forth and so on. And I will be honoring our sisters here and shortly, Bi'ifnillah, talking about them in a video and so forth and so on, and whatnot. The importance of the Fulani woman, the Muslim woman in our society and so forth. You say, well, why are you doing this? Because there's so much animosity toward the Fulani people that, and again, I always equate them like with the African Americans. The criminal element of the African Americans is very low. But if you look at according to the news, despite every black person inside the United States is involved in crime. Same thing with our the Fuller community today. They attribute everybody, everybody, even the sisters, as being part of some group of bandits or kidnappers or Boko Haram or something like that. And Boko Haram, not even Fulani. Boko Haram are Kanuri. And so I try to give something, so education, so people see our special gifts that Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gave us. See, and that's why I do these things, talk about our history and so forth, because our history is rich, very, very rich. And I talk about many issues and so forth and so on. So with that said, brothers and sisters, I'm hoping that I leave you today and that you you have prosperity and you have peace and whatnot. And I'm hoping that you have a good night's sleep, as we say in the Fulani, in our proverbs. We're always wishing people to have a good night's sleep because sleep is important and so forth and so on. And I'm hoping, brothers and sisters, that you are in well-being and that you're in tranquility and whatnot. And so with that said, I'll leave you now. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anjurama.